What's up guys, we're back again today with another great video, and in today's video we're actually going to be working on the Highlander again. Our good friends at CarTrimHome, they actually sent us out some more stuff for the Highlander, and these are some ambient lights that go in where your door handles are on the interior of the car. As you guys know, if you have a Highlander driving at nighttime, it gets kind of dark inside the car, and this is just kind of like a cool ambient light that goes right where your door handles will be, and anytime your headlights are on or your running lights are on, they're on as well, and they're the same color as your switches, you know, on the steering wheel, and they're the same color as the switches that are, you know, like your up and down for your window and your door lock. So they look really good in the car and they match really good. Like I said, I'll show you guys what they look like now at nighttime inside the car, and as you can see, they're really bright and they're really cool. So let's go ahead and we'll jump into the install. This install is a super easy install, and I think you guys will enjoy the video. So let's jump into it. All right, so let's go ahead and go over the product that we'll be installing today. So like I said, this is the ambient lights that go inside of where your door handles are right here. And as you guys can see, I've actually already installed this one on the passenger door. That way I know the best way and the easiest way for you guys to do it. It's actually really cool. You don't even have to take off the whole door panel, which makes it really nice and really easy for anybody to do. So let's go ahead and check out the product like I was saying. So here is what it looks like when you'll get it. Obviously you'll have 4 instead of 2, and then you've got your harnesses here. So these actually clip in to where your door locks are and your windows are, your window switches are, and then that actually piggybacks off of it, and then you just plug it right back into here, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And then this wire that's coming off is what hooks into these and makes these light up. So the harness for the front is different than the back, so just make sure, you know, you're using the right ones, which anyway, I mean, you can't mess it up because the harnesses are way different. As you can see, this one's a lot wider. This one actually goes to the front, and this one's more narrower, and it's for the back doors. So you get given all this right here, easy plug and play. You also get given a pry tool, which is really nice. I actually use theirs instead of my own, just so I could see how good it works, and it works perfect for this install. I have a screwdriver. You could use a drill or anything like that with a Phillips head on it. I like to use a screwdriver when I'm doing interior stuff because, 1, I don't want to strip it out, and 2, when you're working on interior plastics and stuff like that, it's a lot easier to break them. I have some wire cutters here and some zip ties. So they don't send you zip ties. This is something that you can just pick up real easy. Obviously you can use scissors or a knife to cut these zip ties. I use these inside the door panel right here because your wire is going to come down, and I bunch up the harnesses right here and this leftover harness that you'll have inside the door, and I zip tie it to my factory harnesses, so that way, you know, when you're opening and shutting the door, that harness isn't slapping around inside your door and getting annoying. So let's go ahead and I'll jump to the driver's side and we'll start doing the install. So first things first, this is the driver door in the front. You're going to want to go ahead and pop off this little triangle right here, and you can actually just go underneath, and it's just got one push pin. I'm trying to do it with one hand here. And as you can see, it comes off just like that. And here is the push pin. So as you can see, it pops in right there. And then you've got this little alignment peg that goes in right here. So we've got that out. We'll set it down right here. And then the next thing you're going to want to do is actually pop this off right here. And you can actually take your little pry tool in right here, and it actually pops off really easy, which is nice. So just like that, and as you can see, it comes out just like that right there. And there's one black screw right here that you're going to take out, and that's what allows us to kind of pop the door panel free, so that way we can get our wire down through here. So now we're going to grab our screwdriver and start taking it out. And then once you get this out, so we've got our screw out right there. All right, so now that you've taken the screw out up here, let's go ahead and pop off where your window switches and stuff are. You can take this more narrow side and kind of go in and just loosen it up right here. And as you can see, it pops up just like that, and then you can pry it up top and it'll come out. So now on this, you're actually going to go ahead and undo the bigger clip down here at the bottom. So you just push in on this tab and then it should just slide right out. Just like that. Now you're going to get the wiring harness that CarTrimHome supplied. And as you guys can see, it is the wider harness out of the two that you'll have. And you're going to plug it right in. So now you're going to take the other end of this harness that they gave you and plug it in right where the factory one was that you just disconnected. So we'll click it in right there. And now we'll have power to our light up here. So now we'll go ahead and grab our light with the piece of plastic that's the trim piece here. So as you guys can see right here, we've got it. And one thing I'm going to show you guys is where we're going to run the wire at. So I'm going to feed it down right here. And now let me grab the camera and show you guys. So as you can see, we're going to go in right here. You can't go in any of these other holes because that's where your push pins are that actually hold this piece of trim in. So make sure you go in the dead center right here and you're going to feed it down. Now once you start feeding this down, I hadn't done it yet, but you're actually going to grab your door panel right here and you're going to go ahead and pop it out a little bit, just like that. And that'll free up space behind here, and then once you start feeding it down, your wire will actually come out right here. And then once you see it, we're going to connect it to this wire, and then we'll zip tie it up, put it back in, and then we'll just put our screw back in and reinstall the trim here, and it's just as easy as that. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into doing those steps so you guys can see it. Alright, so as you guys seen in the time lapse, we fed our wire down, we connected it to our new harness inside of here, then I kind of bundled the wire up and zip tied it to the factory wire, cleaned it all up nice. We snapped this back down right here, we snapped this in right here, and now we're going to put our final touch on. So you just put this back just like this and snap it on. And then now your driver door is done. So as you guys can see, super easy install. The back door is a little bit more difficult, but not that bad. So let's go ahead and we'll jump to it. But let's test this one first, make sure it's still working. So as you guys can see, it is still working. So this one's good. So let's jump back to the back door and go ahead and get started. So on the back door, we actually don't have that trim piece up here, so you don't have to worry about that. So what we'll end up doing is we'll take this cover off again. We'll unscrew that screw right here. And then obviously we're going to take the window switch out again. And then on this one, you're actually going to pop this plastic clip back. And there's a screw behind here, and we're going to unscrew it too, because it allows you to pull the door panel loose farther down, so that way it's easier to get the wire down through here. I actually had a lot harder time on the back door on the passenger side than I did the front. So I actually had to kind of shove my arm down in between up here to kind of feed the wire down. So we'll see how this goes. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so take your pry tool in right here and go ahead and pop this out just like we did the front one. Just like that. Then we'll go ahead and unscrew this screw right here. Just like that. So now that you've got this unscrewed, now what you're going to go ahead and do is let's go ahead and pop this out as well and take this second screw out. Now on this, I couldn't get this pry tool to get in there because the little cutout square is pretty small. So if you'll get a precision screwdriver, a flathead, or if you just have something that's a little bit skinnier than this, it'll make it easier. And you'll just go in right here and you'll pop it out just like this. Once you get it popped out, you can grab it with your fingers, and as you guys can see, there's the silver screw. And we're going to do the same thing here. We'll just take our Phillips head screwdriver and unscrew this. All right, so now that we've got that loose and out, now we'll just move on to the window switch right here. So same thing, you can either go in the front or the back. Just kind of depends, because like I told you guys before, in different areas it's easier to get underneath it. So you can go in right there at that corner and pop it up just like that, and you'll take it out. And then now that we have this out, I'm going to go ahead and put our new harness in. So I'm going to undo it just like that. We'll take our new harness right here, we'll plug it in just like that, make sure it's good and tight. Now we'll take this and plug this back in, your window switch, just like that, and then now we've got our lead. So now what we'll do is we'll grab up here and we'll kind of pop this out. And like I said, on this one, you're going to want to pop it a little bit lower down. That way you can kind of get your hand behind it. So pop it down just like that. So as you guys can see, it's pretty loose, a lot looser than the front one was. And there's actually another silver screw right here. I didn't take it out, so don't try to pull the whole panel off. If you do want to pull the whole panel off to make it easier, you'll have to take out this other screw right here as well. So now that we've got it loose, we're going to go ahead and grab our light. So we'll undo it right here. And the same thing on this one, I'll show you guys a little bit closer. Same thing, you're going to run it right through this center square, because these outer ones, that's what that trim piece clips into. So make sure you go in the center right here. Just like this. Push it in, start feeding it down. And we might get lucky this time and it might just pop out at the bottom. Last time I didn't get lucky on the one in the back of the car. So now I've just got the wire fed down and I kind of just wedged it right here underneath the door handle. So now you can actually take your hand underneath here, kind of feel where it went, and you can kind of take this hand and just hand it to yourself, just like that. So now we've got our wire down right here, and we'll plug it in just like this. So now I'm going to go ahead and test it before we put everything back together. So as you guys can see, it's working. So now we can go ahead and put everything back together. So first things first, before we do that, like how I did on the front side, we'll kind of pull the slack a little bit, as you guys can see, and we'll zip tie it up. We'll just kind of pull it right here, and then zip tie it together. And that'll just make sure that the wires aren't bouncing around inside the door panel when you're opening and shutting the door, and it'll keep it from making noise, because obviously we are putting extra wire in here. All right, so there is that. So now we'll just feed this back down into here, just like so. And now we've got our switch back installed. So now we'll take our door panel and we'll start popping it all back in. So just like that. Go over here, kind of go up. Just make sure everything gets popped back in. And then we'll take that silver screw that we took out right here. We'll go ahead and put it back. And on the interior panel screws, really you just want to get it tight. You don't want to over tighten it because you don't want to crack your door panels. You don't want to, I mean, literally the only thing it is doing is securing it. You've got all these push tabs in, so this one screw is not holding up the whole door, and you got to remember that when you're tightening them down. So on something like this, tight's tight. So then we'll just take that, push it back, and clip it back in, just like that. And so now we'll take our black screw and we'll screw it in right here. All right. Then And now we'll just feed the rest of our wire down in there. Make sure it's not going to get pinched when we go ahead and put this trim piece back on. So just kind of feed it in. And then once you get it all fed in there, you can just push in right here and it'll be good. I need to feed the wire a little bit better. Just like that. You just want to make sure you don't pinch any of your wires when you're putting this back on. So just like that, push on both sides, make sure it's good and tight. And there we are. So now I'll go ahead and test it one more time to make sure everything's working. And as you guys can see, it's lighting up. So now I'll actually kind of shut the doors and I'll sit inside the car with the lights on, and I'll show you guys what they look like in daytime compared to nighttime. All right, so we're sitting in the car now. I just kind of want to show you guys what it would look like. So obviously we still have the garage lights on. This Highlander, we have the windows tinted, so it's a little darker inside, but this would kind of be like what it would be like during the daytime. I'll even open up the sunroof here, that way you guys can kind of see. So this is what they would look like during the day. So over here you can still see that it's blue and lit up and just looks nicer. I'm actually surprised that this isn't a factory option in these cars, because it does look so much nicer. And then if you look over here, same thing, you can kind of see what it looks like. And then here's what the back seat looks like right there. So again, that's what it'll look like during the daytime. Let me go turn off my garage lights and I'll show you what it would look like at night. All right, so as you guys can tell now, the garage lights are turned off. The only lights that are on is the headlights of the car. So as you guys can see right here, one thing I want to show you all is see the blue right here on your steering wheel and how good the blue matches up right here. So great job by CarTrimHome matching the blues inside the car. It literally looks factory. So I really like that about this product. As you guys can see, here's your window switches and the color is literally the exact same. So now let's look at the product at nighttime. So this is what it looked like in the driver's seat. So what it'll look like if you're looking over to your passenger side, and as you guys can see, the same thing. They're lit up and they look good. Also, with these being lit up, you know that the wiring harnesses and everything are put back together, because if this wasn't lit up, then you would know that it was unhooked or something wasn't plugged in right. So that's another thing. Then you can kind of look back here and then you can see your back seat right there and what it would look like at nighttime. So it looks really, really good. I wish the camera's really not doing it justice of how nice it looks inside the car, because the light's reflecting off that kind of chromish door handle or the silver door handle, and it just makes it look so good at nighttime. So great product by CarTrimHome, and I'm very happy with the install. Super easy. All right guys, so that is pretty much it for today's video. A really simple, easy install, and a big shout out to CarTrimHome for sending that out so I can show you guys how to install their product. Great product by them. You guys know how I am. I'm not biased. Whether somebody sends me something for free or if I have to buy it myself, I'm going to give you guys a true review on it. This product, I would give it a 10 out of 10, honestly, because one thing I hate is when people redo trim pieces like that and they don't snap in well and they're loose or the fitment's bad. These, they fit in perfect just like factory ones. They snap in really tight. They're not loose at all, and they look just like the factory. So I would give that a thumbs up. Then you go to the light, the way the light looks. I think it's a perfect brightness. It's really not dim, and it's not overly bright to where it like overpowers the other lights in the car. So they did a great job on that, and also with the color of the light. The color matches up dang near perfect with all your other blue lights inside the car. So with that being said, I give it a thumbs up. And then the easy plug and play that allows anybody to do this install. So if you're the first time doing anything on your car or you're an expert, you can do this. Super easy, super simple. And I love the way that they do their stuff. Just like I showed you guys on the lights that we added in the trunk. I'll actually pop up that video now if you guys hadn't seen it, so you can go check it out. That's another great plug and play CarTrimHome product that is great, and I love this company, the way that they do the stuff. For anybody that has this car, it makes it super easy to do any of their installs. So thank you CarTrimHome for making great products, and that's why I'm giving this a 10 out of 10. I'm very impressed with this product, and hopefully they'll send me out some more stuff so I can keep making videos for you guys. I'll make sure I put a link down below so you guys can go pick up this product yourself. Again, I do think it makes the car look a lot nicer inside, and it gives you a little bit more light if you're doing a lot of nighttime driving or when you're traveling and stuff. It's just that extra little bit of light that just makes the ride feel nicer, and it makes your car feel nicer. So it's a really cool product to have in your car in general, just because not a lot of other Highlanders are going to have it. So anyway, guys, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe to the channel. That way I can keep growing and keep making cool videos for you guys. And until next time, peace out, and remember, build your masterpiece.
Hey, I got something to say. I'm just so sick of hearing everyone complain. I know it's tough and I know there's pain, but hitting bottom